AM.
WOON, Woonsocket.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, let's do that. It is Coffee Ann here on ON, AM and FM radio, Thursday morning, March the 5th. Thanks for joining us this morning. And around the Coffee Ann table, we'll say our hellos and our good mornings. There's Bob Lauder. Good morning, Bob.
Morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here with us. Sue Tessie McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times is here. Good morning to you there, Sue.
Good morning.
And I told Bob we're going to start off a good sports story. Bob, what are we going to do? Patriots are going to release Stephon Diggs.
Deer in the headlights.
Look at the stunned silence.
The stunned silence.
I like it. Well, when I first heard it, I had stunned silence too, because I'm like, oh, really? Because I like him. But then,
Why?
It's a business, and it's a money saving move, and that's it. That's basically it.
Okay,
they like him. He can still play.
He's a good player.
Yes.
He's earning a lot of money.
Yes.
And they figure that they'd rather save the money and lose the player.
Yeah, let's go. Right.
Is he young enough to go on to another team?
Yes, he'll probably pick up. Maybe he'll play for another season or two, but he is older, so we can take the money we were paying him and go pay younger people, and maybe we can pay two people.
Okay, then his contract.
What he was making.
His contract had expired.
Well, it runs out July. That's how they kind of run. So yeah, and they've already told him they're still paying him up until the contract ends when training camp season begins.
Now, I imagine contracts are based on age and
no, it's just base salary, and then there's all incentives in there too. If you score 35 touchdowns, bonus. If you catch 80 passes, bonus. If you get elected to the Pro Bowl, bonus.
How long does a standard contract run?
Well, it depends on the player.
His was 3 years, but I'm looking at the dollar figure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the dollar figure. I don't even see a comma or a decimal point.
What's the number, folks? Sue's looking at it. Bob's looking at it. Well, I don't know what it is. What is it?
I don't know. Is it $6.35? Is it 6,350? Look at it. There's nothing there.
That's going to be $6.35 million per year.
That's what I'm saying. I was kind of working my way up.
Oh, I see.
Because there's no comma, no period,
there's no period,
nothing.
So yeah. So they're going to, it's and all pro sports teams have these salary caps that to pay their players. You can't go over this threshold, and if you do, you get fined and things like that. So you got to look at that, and then you got to look at the age of the player, and they try to make the best decision possible. And they said, okay,
now when his contract runs out, does
Yes.
he automatically leave the Patriots, or does he?
Well, he becomes a free agent. What happens, and then he has his agent shop him out to the other teams. Stephon Diggs is available. Who needs a wide receiver? That's his position. And they'll see if they can get any teams. Hey, we could use someone with experience. How about the younger guys? We've got salary cap space. We could afford to pay him. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So that was announced yesterday. So he won't be back this year. So
What kind of impact do you think that's going to have on their overall season next year?
Well, it means they have got to go find a wide receiver because he was probably their best wide receiver this past year, and now they got a few people they can pass to, but they need someone really good at that position. And maybe they're looking at someone in the college ranks that's going to done with school and ready to join the pros. And maybe there's someone down there. I don't know. I don't follow college football that closely, so I don't know. Or maybe they're going to try to get someone from another team.
But if you bring in somebody young from a college team, they don't have the experience in playing with the. So I would imagine there's going to be a learning curve.
Yes, there is.
And they're not going to be as powerful as he is.
Well, you don't know. It's always a gamble. I've seen college kids come out in their first year, in their rookie year, and they're outstanding. And I've seen them come out and fall flat on their face. Okay. And you never see them again. The pro game and the college game are it's the same game,
right?
But it's completely different in terms of talent. So, What are they going to do? I don't know. So we'll have to see. But the good thing is greatness breeds more greatness. So we went to the Super Bowl this year. That means other players that are decent, that were on teams that like didn't make the playoffs, but they're pretty good. They look to their agent and say, I really want to go play over there, like for the Patriots. I want to play for Vrabel, the coach. They've got a winning attitude. They've got a winning combination. Get me over there. So that happens too.
But wouldn't they have to have come to the end of their contract with their teams?
And they could. They could be, yeah.
They wouldn't break a contract and leave X team to go to the Patriots.
Well, they could, and then it's talk of who pays who, what amount of money. You tell Bobby, you're my agent. You go to the team I'm playing for. Say I want to be traded, to New England, and so then if they want to do it, then they figure out who pays you, and how much do the Patriots pay you until your contract ends. Gets complicated after this.
I would think that the losing team might be saying, you're a very good player. We have you on a contract for 2 years
they might say
remaining.
That. Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
They can do that?
Sure.
Oh, all right.
You're in the contract to them, so no, you're playing here.
I didn't know if they broke the contract, if there'd be penalties coming back to them.
No. It'd be up to the team to make the decision whether or not they trade them or keep them.
Oh,
nope,
right.
we're building our program around you. So we can't let you go. You're one of our better players. So
there's a lot behind this.
There sure is.
It's not just kicking the ball.
There sure is. There really is a lot behind it.
Wow.
All right, moving on to other fun things. Let's see. Story in the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times by Russ Olivo, and the headline says city man injured after alleged attack by a teen family member. And it just drives me nuts when family members attack other family members. And this is the alleged happened. Charlie S. Bourbion, 18, was arrested. Charges of domestic assault on a person over 60, causing bodily injury and child abuse and child endangerment. So he hurt his 78-year-old grandfather, allegedly, and his 4-year-old sister on Hillsdale Street.
Well, I imagine emotions in families can be very, very strong. And you can get angry with people that are in your family sometimes a lot easier than you do with strangers.
Okay, but I'm reading the story, Sue, and it just says the grandfather and the 4-year-old girl are just sitting on the sofa when the grandfather says, for no apparent reason, the 18-year-old grabs the girl and runs outside. The grandfather then fouled out. Now they're wrestling outside who gets possession of the little girl, because I guess the grandfather didn't know what he was going to do with her. Grandfather gets control, takes her back into the house, at which point the 18-year-old allegedly began hitting him wildly, knocking him to the floor, according to a police report. In an effort to protect the child, the grandfather told police he wrapped the girl in his arms, and the two knocked heads as they fell, apparently causing the child to suffer a swollen bruise on her forehead. The grandfather said it was also swollen, and he was complaining of neck and back pain, but refused medical attention. And when they asked the little girl, she just said, "Charlie hurt me." And Charlie is the 18-year-old, because you're dealing with a 4-year-old here. So
right.
They're going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
They like that. So when officers arrived, they first encountered Charlie outside, shoeless and in the middle of the street, crying for help. Police asked him repeatedly what happened. He said, continued to make comments that did not make sense, and based on the information provided, secondary rescue was requested for psychological evaluation. Seems it. So he went to Landmark, and his sister, by the way, went to Hasbro Children's Hospital.
Really?
For her injuries. So.
Well, they don't take, head injuries. Sorry, they don't take. There are protocols in place nowadays for a head injury, and Hasbro's one of them.
She may have a concussion.
Absolutely
she
right.
Banged her head against her grandfather's head.
Absolutely right.
Who's got a rock for a head as opposed to her being at 4. So all right. So that's what took place in the city. Russ Oliver's got the story in the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. We had a note called in 766-1240. Back to the Patriots. Bob Kraft is cheap in pockets. Kraft is cheap in pockets the money for his business. Maybe I'm missing a word there. But anyway, the bottom line is Kraft is cheap.
Yeah.
It's possible. And say, let's go get someone younger that'll do just as good, and we'll pay him less money. How do you think Kraft got to be rich?
Now, what about as they age and the abilities, I guess, for them to get more injuries, and suddenly you're paying this guy because they're under contract, but they're out for the season due to injuries.
Still going to pay him.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah.
So maybe that plays a factor in the decision. Not disputing that whether or not Kraft is cheap.
Yeah, but especially in football.
But sometimes you have to look to the next step.
You're getting older. You're more susceptible to injuries.
Yeah,
now.
right.
And this just happened. I just listened to Lou on the way in the sports. That just happened with the Boston Red Sox. They just traded for some guy. I can't remember his name. And doesn't Alex Cora say he needs shoulder surgery?
Yeah.
And in baseball, Bob,
Wow.
if you get shoulder surgery, you're done for the year. The season hasn't even started, and he's done. We'll see you next spring.
Yeah.
Now, did they give a reason why he needed the surgery? Was there an injury?
He got injured or something, or he threw his arm. I don't know, threw his arm out somehow.
Wow.
But somehow
My shoulder's injured right now, and I don't even know what.
Why? Yeah.
I think it's just everything I do.
Well, you're not pitching for the Sox, though.
But my point being,
Yeah.
you never know what could be.
Right.
You know, you could have something internal. I had rotator cuff surgery years ago.
There you go.
But sometimes you don't even know why. Like, I'm trying to dry my hair, and I'm like, okay, hold on. You know, it's lifting my arm up, so it can be anything.
People get hurt shoveling.
Yep.
People get hurt taking cookies out.
Sneezing.
Sneezing, taking cookies out of the oven, threw your back out. You ever hear people doing that?
Stupid stuff.
Not me, but yeah. Isn't Stephon Diggs facing assault charges still? Another note called in. Yes.
Yes. You know what? I just tried to
he-
search that.
He pleaded not guilty to that.
Yes, I just tried to look at that. The assault charges were against his chef.
Yes.
In his home.
That's right.
And there was a dispute there, which I always look at that stuff as there's two sides to the story, and then there's the truth.
And there's the truth.
So I'm,
nice.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
curious about that. So
He pleaded not guilty to it. He says it's an employer situation, but he says no on the assault. But he's due back in court April or May, where that will go forward. So we'll hear more about that. And that could have had a factor in it as well, getting rid of him.
You know, as I'm sitting here and I'm looking it up, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's the one, because his girlfriend is Cardi B.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm like, I know that's the one. I just heard this yesterday about the court, whatever. So.
Fun being a pro athlete, huh?
And you're not going to ask me who Cardi B is either, thank you.
She is, I'm going to put this in quotes, Bob. She is a singer.
Okay.
She's a rap person.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to know who she is. You may have caught her name in the news somewhere.
remember
She was
Rosemary
actually
Clooney.
sitting with
Kraft, yeah.
Kraft
Yeah,
in the stands.
in the box, in the nice. So
In the stands.
Rosemary
Yeah, no,
Clooney,
in the
huh?
box. They were in the box.
I don't think Rosemary's with us anymore, Bob.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming your way. And another note to get to. You can call in yours as well at 766-1240.
OM 1240.
Your premier real estate expert is Scott McGee of the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties in North Smithfield. Scott has had extensive training and knows the latest real estate strategies. He can offer you knowledge and tools most other agents can't. To see the latest listings from the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties, visit this website, McGeeSoldMyHouse.com. Scott McGee of Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties can help you buy or sell your home.
Well, after the week we've had, you probably need a little entertainment. We've got it for you at Chan's. Tomorrow night, Friday, February 27th from 8 to 10, it's the Winehouse Project. And that's a stunningly accurate tribute to music and legacy of Amy Winehouse. $30 in advance, $35 at the door. Saturday night, the 28th, end February with the Fat City Band, 8 to 10. Incredible Fat City Band will be rocking the house. Bring your dancing shoes. $20 in advance, $25 at the door. And coming up next week, we have the Backburners featuring Danny Cooch Korchmar on March the 6th. That's Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. And try the food. It's fantastic. Always has been.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Radio.
All right, Coffee and right here on ON Radio. Thank you for joining us. Joe Callan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tester McKenzie. Sue, time for first message from the Blackstone Valley Call-and-Times newspaper.
Good morning. So the last few weeks I've mentioned we're doing a brain injury awareness pages through the month of March. So I decided this morning I'm using my commercial from the Blackstone Valley Call-and-Times to just mention a little bit about brain injury awareness. I could talk for hours, but I won't. I'll just make it quick. Somebody asked me the other day, why is awareness so important? The reason why awareness is so important is because you have a car accident, slip and fall. This young child that was injured by her 18-year-old brother with a bump in the forehead can, in fact, result in a brain injury. If you don't have awareness, you're not advocating for yourself. You're not asking the right questions when it comes to the emergency room. So protocols have been put in place through the Department of Health under the Brain Injury Task Force here in the state of Rhode Island. So should you have a slip and fall, should you have a car accident, should anything at all happen that involves your brain, you need to mention that. You need to ask what the protocols are. They will give you some information on the Brain Injury Association. You can contact them. The problem is you can look and feel great today, and then tomorrow you can drop due to dizziness, and it could be the result of a brain injury. So advocacy is crucial should you be injured or a family member be injured, as well as awareness. So I state that. If you're looking for more information or have any questions about yourselves, you can give me a call on my cell at 401-487-4136.
I don't know if it's because of my age now, Sue, but I've noticed with medical people, they're very big on, slip and falls and have you hit your head. They ask that a lot.
That's becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah. Which is good.
I mean, I just quickly, my mom was beat up on a bus 5 years ago. She worked as a bus monitor for a handicapped bus, and due to the fact that child was mentally, there's a word for it, mentally challenged, disabled, whatever, my mother couldn't even defend herself. So she spent quite some time in the hospital, blows to the head, kicks, but you name it. She was 85 at the time, so nobody's looking at brain injury, plus the protocols weren't in place 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Now today, mom's having different issues, lots of dizziness, falls, more blows to the head. She's currently at Friendly Home getting rehab. She's working on rehab, but they right away, as you age, they throw out the dementia Alzheimer's card. So that's why asking now, and you record it, now you're getting it documented that, yes, I hit my head. My husband's in the hospital right now. He was found to have a brain bleed yesterday, so he had emergency surgery last night.
Wow.
Again, slip and fall, blow to the head. That's when a CT scan comes into play to see if there's some underlying issues. So it's very important. If you think you fell, if you think you may have hit your head, make it known so they can do a CT scan.
All righty, Sue. All right, note called in, 766-1240, completely different subject now. And it just says, don't know what to make of this, but I don't like it. Trump drops bombs in the Mideast war, and at the same time, literally drops a bomb on us. Stocks drop drastically, which means prices zoom up for everyone here. What about the security of the nation? It's scary all around. Yeah, that part's true, because I think it was I filled up my gas tank yesterday, and the last time I filled up my gas tank, I think I paid $2.74 a gallon, and I filled it up yesterday, $3.09.
Jacked up 30 cents, just like that.
Yes.
30 plus.
Why? And I'm sure, I know there's a reasons behind it, and they're switching blends because we're moving into the springtime, and that brings it up. But why does the prices always jump up 30 cents, but they never come down 30 cents at a time? It
right,
always
now they come down pennies.
Pennies at a time. So Bob. You've worked on a refinery before.
I've worked on a refinery before. Actually, no, I haven't. My brother did, but not me.
But do stocks, do they automatically drop when the first stages of military strikes happen?
I don't think it's necessarily the military strike so much as where this strike is taking place. They're worried about shipping through the Gulf of Hormuz.
Yeah.
Nothing's moving.
Uncertainty. It's that whole uncertainty thing with everything. And that's...
You know what else? We had it on yesterday. I think there's 5 cruise ships that are stuck.
Oh.
Because there's no security. And they can't move through the strait. They're worried about being bombed by Iran. I'm like, well, this is not good. There's only so much food on these ships. What happens when we run out? I think last I knew, I thought the U.S. government was coming in with planes, so at least the cruise ships can get out of there and go back to their home countries. And those people will be okay, but tough.
Bad situation.
A bad situation all the way around. You're right.
And I do not think that the United States planning has taken into account what will they do once they completely destabilize Iran. What kind of government are they expecting is going to take over? When Secretary Hegseth was talking 2 days ago, I believe it was, and he was saying, well, we're encouraging any group that wants to, within the country of Iran, to exert themselves and take over. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem like it's a plan on our part at all. And without a plan, I think we're...
But all right, I can play devil's advocate, Sue.
Yeah.
Do we have to have the plan of what they're going to do?
Well, we have to. I think we do, because if we've destabilized the country, then if we don't want something worse to come along, we're going to have a plan to make it better.
Okay. I'm going to go with this. Somebody's going to step up.
I expect so.
It always happens, because somebody always wants power.
Mm-hmm.
So is it good power or bad power? I don't know, but someone's going to want to do it.
I would think that our objective should have been, we want to have in place a viable government that's going to take over and going to be favorable to us, as opposed to stepping back after having had this destruction of the existing government and saying, hey, you're on your own. Because if you're saying, hey, you're on your own, who knows what's going to come along?
All right. And I have a good example about this, because people will always want power. And this goes back to, I took a political science class at Rhode Island College, in a good-sized classroom, 60 or 70 students in one. And so the professors, and there were 2, were running it was called Politics the Game. So it was us against another class to see who could run the best country, basically. And so they assigned president, vice president, secretary, treasury, that kind of thing. Now, not everyone could have a position in authority. The rest of the class, you were just the population. And they looked at all the people that were running things. Well, you got to make sure the people, have work, food, water, and things like that. But there was also, they assigned people outside, not outside the class, but inside the class. And they were like the rogue people, people that always want to take over, kind of thing. All right. So it was supposed to be us against them. And so when they were passing out assignments, I couldn't believe this. I was given president of the country. I really wanted to be just one of the rabble. I really just want to be. I want to be a rebel. I just want to be part of the people. And so, but I was given the presidency of this country. So there we are, getting together with the cabinet and stuff, and starting to talk things over. When one of the rebels immediately assassinated me. Immediately.
I'm sorry to laugh at that.
No, it is pretty funny. I said, first of all, of course, they hand you a card. You've been assassinated. I said, first of all, you're supposed to go after the other class, you fool. And secondly, I'm like, well, great. Now I just sit down. I just sit down and do nothing, which is what I wanted in the first place. I said, you're such a fool.
Jeez.
But yeah, so there we are trying to get things up and running. I was immediately killed because someone. Why did he do it? He wanted the power. He wanted to be the president. And so there will always be those kind of people that want the power.
Okay.
And so and then it doesn't matter what.
He didn't become president, though, did
I was just going to say,
no,
how could he? He assassinated.
He tried to kill himself to the top, and it didn't work, if I remember that correctly. So, You only had so many assassination cards. You couldn't use them, willy-nilly all the time before I think he was taken out by somebody else. So, but I just sat there and watched it unfold. It was pretty interesting to watch. All right. Moving on to another subject. This came out yesterday after a year-long looking at the whole situation. The Attorney General came out with their sex abuse situation against the Diocese of Providence.
I heard that on the radio, but I didn't read the
I heard
article.
it too.
The report identifies 75 clergy members credibly accused of abusing children going as far back as the 1950s. And then they would just take them and shift them around
from one diocese to
another. And now I saw it on Channel 10's website, Channel 12's website. It listed the 5 worst ones and how many allegations were against them. Wasn't he my priest?
No way.
I went to St. John Vianney in Cumberland, and he was there for 10 years, maybe. He was an associate pastor there. He wasn't the head guy.
What year?
It was right when all this was going on. So we're looking at like 1977 to about 1982, 83.
That was my husband's family's parish.
Right in there. And so I'm at the perfect age, by the way, for being abused. Found that out later. And my parents kept asking me, as I was growing up, do you want to be an altar boy? Altar server now.
Right.
And I was like, no. Well, your friends, some of your friends are doing it. Yeah, they are. Any interest in doing it? No, not really. Just didn't appeal to me. Well, wasn't the priest abusing the altar service?
Well, my brain is thinking
was beside herself.
Yeah, I don't think any of my husband's brothers were altar servers, but the timing is right there.
Oh, it's perfect.
Exactly
yes.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
And but it brings me to so my mother-in-law, God bless her soul, she was a wonderful lady, but my father-in-law would take the kids to church, and this wasn't all the time. This whatever. Well, they had a thing. It was called Saint Ride Around. So they would supposed to be going to church, and then they'd send my husband, Ronnie, because he was the youngest one, into the church to grab a bulletin to bring it home, so they thought they went to church. So they titled it Saint Ride Around.
That's great. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, when he first had his brain injury, that was one of the things I wrote on an index card to see if he remembered that, and he did.
Oh, that's great. Now, if I had gone, because I had friends that were altar servers, and that were not abused, because I did ask them later on. And no, and you know why? It's because they came from very stable 2-parent homes, and everything was great at home, like how I grew up.
Yeah.
And because that's not who they go after. And I know one of the boys he did abuse, and the problem was his father died at a younger age, probably like 50 or so. And so it's just the mom trying to raise like 3 or 4 boys at the time, and he was an altar server, and she said, "Oh yeah, stay with the church. God will protect you. And here's this priest coming along looking to help. Oh yeah, stay with him because it'll be good for you." Well, turns out not so much. And then he was gone. And they never told you. Father so and so is leaving. It's just all of a sudden they're not there. Somebody new is there. Well, okay. And years later, when I was at the Rhode Island College, he was back. The abusing priest was back. He was doing something at Rhode Island College, and I'm not sure what. I don't know if he was teaching or something, but I saw him on campus a few times. And then he was gone again. And last I heard, I think he's passed away, by the way. Last I knew, he went to Texas. And let's just get him out of here completely. So So yeah, and then they listed a bunch of priests, and so it was like 16 cases. One's from Woonsocket, and I can't remember his name too. Sorry about that. But 16 cases, 17 cases. Yeah, it's over a long period of time. Pretty bad.
It is, and I don't know in retrospect what the church should have been doing. Probably turning the evidence over to the local police, have the Attorney General prosecute. Probably should have, but you're looking in the 1950s, different mindset of the population.
Back then, sure.
Yeah.
And what the bishop is now saying, he goes, well, yeah, it's unfortunately it's really old news. He goes, there hasn't been a credible sexual abuse allegation from the Diocese of Providence since 2002. So he's happy about that, because we don't have new stuff keep happening, because they've looked into it and they've changed things. So things should be a lot better here in Providence. So, but that's what they came out with yesterday. All right, we're going to take we'll look at the weather forecast right now, which is being brought to you by Mattress Warehouse of Providence.
Rain is likely, mainly later in the day. Areas of fog here and there. Otherwise, it's going to be a cloudy day with a high of 37 degrees and a calm wind. Maybe a tenth of an inch of rain later on. Tonight, rain and areas of fog. Overnight low just a tuck above freezing at 33 degrees and a northeast breeze. A half to 3/4 of an inch of precipitation is possible overnight tonight. Friday's weather. Rain in the morning. Areas of fog. High of 35. Northeast breeze. 100% chance of that rain and new precipitation amounts between a tenth and a quarter of an inch possible Friday morning. Saturday, cloudy skies, high of 51, calm wind. Sunday, partly sunny, high of 56. Monday, sunshine and 58. Tuesday, sunny and a high near 66 degrees Tuesday. And on Wednesday is a small chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies, high near 62 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with mostly cloudy skies, we have a temperature reading of 36 degrees.
Well, I mentioned in my last announcement about Chan's that tomorrow night, March the 6th, we have the Backburners featuring Danny Cooch Korchmar. Don't miss this debut of Danny Cooch, the legendary renowned guitarist, of course, songwriter and producer, featuring Danny Korchmar, guitar vocals. Rocco DeRosa have the guitar and vocals, and Joel Latulipi, harmonica. Marty Ballou will be playing the bass, and Vinny Pagano on the drums. That's the Backburners tomorrow night at Chan's, $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Then on Saturday night, March the 7th, from 8 to 10 at Chan's, Sugar Ray and the Blue Tones, traditional Chicago-style blues, $25 in advance, $30 at the door. Get your tickets in advance and plan to eat at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. The food's fantastic.
The most modern, state-of-the-art shooting range in northern Rhode Island is MTR Guns & Ammo in North Smithfield. Take your training to the next level. MTR Guns & Ammo offers 5 different memberships to fit your lifestyle, from casual shooters to dedicated enthusiasts. They do have yearly memberships, but if you're looking to try it out, then the monthly membership is for you. For $34.99 per month, you receive 1 hour per day of shooting anytime they are open, plus 1 guest pass per month. All memberships come with discounts, free rentals, and more. And there's never an initiation fee. MTR Guns & Ammo, 229 Quaker Highway, North Smithfield. Follow them on Facebook.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
ON Radio.
It's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Sue, I forgot to ask you for a second message from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. Say something nice about the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times, please.
I'm sorry. The way you said that, you made me chuckle. Anyway, yes, so I, again, with the brain injury awareness, I was running that page tomorrow. Due to the situation, I will be running it on Saturday. There's some informative information. We've got some great sponsors to put this together, so I thank all my sponsors. But if you're looking to get your paper delivered via mail. We now mail your paper. You can call my cell phone at 401-487-4136, and I can get you hooked up with that service.
All right, Sue, thanks. Bob, time for our first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to talk to you this morning about two very recent judicial decisions issued by the Rhode Island Supreme Court. The first case is that of Apolistano versus Paglario, and was decided last week. In this case, after the death of her husband, a mother deeded her residential real estate to her 3 children as joint tenants, while reserving for herself a life estate in the real estate. Now, mother had very limited assets, and after deeding the house to her children, she wasn't able to pay the taxes, and one of the children took over the responsibility of making the tax payments. After the death of the mother, the son who had been making the payments sought contributions from his siblings to compensate him for their share of the taxes. Siblings objected. They claimed it was the responsibility of the mother to have paid the taxes. The case was originally tried in the Superior Court, and the decision of that court was then appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court wrote that even though the mother retained a remainderment interest in the real estate and lived in the house until her death, since the property was not income producing, the responsibility of the taxes fell to the remainderment, that is, to the children to whom the mother had deeded the property. The fact that the mother was living in the house and had a life estate did not absolve the remainderment from the obligation of paying the taxes thereupon. If you believe my office may be assisting you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. Well, I was handed a press release from the Attorney General, Peter Nerona, that came out yesterday, March the 4th, about the sexual abuse in the Diocese of Providence, and it does name some names here of priests, and I don't know if this may sound familiar. A man by the name of John Petrocelli.
A little bit familiar to me.
Okay, the indictment alleges that the defendant, by the way, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. That's right, Bob?
True.
All right. The indictment alleges that the defendant committed multiple acts of child molestation against 3 male victims who were all under the age of 14 at the time of the alleged assaults. The charges against the defendant stem from his alleged actions while he served as an assistant pastor at Holy Family Parish here in Woonsocket, sometime between November 6, 1981 and October 3rd, 1990. All right. And another one from in Northern Rhode Island, Kevin Fizette. The indictment alleges the defendant committed first-degree child molestation against a juvenile male victim in the town of Burrillville between January 1st, 1981 and December 31st, 1982. At the time of the alleged assault, the defendant was appointed to serve as a deacon in Our Lady of Victory Parish in Hopkinton. Here we are moving them around.
Right.
All right. And as chaplain at Rhode Island Hospital. So those are there's a couple others they mentioned, but they don't deal with up here in Northern Rhode Island as well. So wow. Yes, Bob, you going to say something?
No.
Okay.
Other than you were right, their defendants are innocent until proven guilty in court.
Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on in the water in North Providence. But
are they swimming?
That's a figure of speech, Bob.
Oh.
Because strange things are happening. First, what was the mayor is accused of having his own personal truck serviced by the DPW in town for free.
Okay.
That's not good. And yesterday, a woman has died. She was hit by a car on Garfield Street, which is near Mineral Spring Avenue. Unfortunately, she lost her footing, probably walking in the snow or near the snow somehow, and fell. Investigators say the driver involved in the crash did not see the woman and ran over her. Police say the woman's death appears to be a tragic accident. The driver remained at the scene and is cooperating with the police investigation. At this time, the driver is not facing any charges. But yeah, sometimes weird things happen in North Providence.
It's nice to be able to point the finger at some other community besides Woonsocket.
Where something
yes,
just going wrong.
Well, see, we don't question if there's anything in the water in Woonsocket. We know there is.
We know there is.
Oh, okay.
we know there is.
All right. And well, now that they've trying to, and congrats, thanks to the Woonsocket Department of Public Works, who came out here and blocked our driveway, only because they were removing the snow. at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, which had a good, what do you figure, 10 feet?
Oh, it was up there.
Mound of snow, and very tough to see around, especially when you were pulling out of Kennedy Street to take a right onto Park Ave. Okay, you got to pull way out on the Park Ave before you can go. Well, they came down here with a payloader and a dump truck and knocked that huge pile down. So,
well, as I said
you.
last week, I think the city of Woonsocket's done a great job in clearing the roads. I think they really did good work.
I think so too, but I've seen people online that would disagree with you.
Oh, probably.
There's always someone that's unhappy.
You're never going to please everybody.
So now
when it comes to that.
now that they're removing the snow down in Providence, of which they had their issues down there, removing snow. Now the new thing, potholes are now starting to pop up everywhere. So Providence Mayor Brett Smiley says in the days following the large snowfall, potholes start to pop up. Crews are hard at work trying to fill them. It's not really the best time of year to be filling potholes either. The mayor says last year, the city upgraded its equipment to make the pothole repair process faster and more efficient. Anyone who spots a pothole should report it through 311. On a statewide level, RIDOT says crews are making daily repairs as needed. The department says once it learns about a pothole on a state road, it's logged in the system so crews can be dispatched to make the repairs.
Now, if somebody reports a pothole, not sure whether it's a state or city, town road, will they still take the complaint and forward it to the city or town?
I think they will.
That
would make sense.
Right, but
you
because
hope so.
people aren't aware, like some people go like, oh no, that's a state road, that's why that road's much clearer or not as clear.
I was told about where I live, and it's like a pothole in front of my house, in front of my driveway, really. Oh, that's a state road. Well, can you tell the state? Oh yeah, sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And then what's funny?
Does anybody do that?
They tell the state, and then the state turns around and tells the town, okay, you have permission to go out and fill it. And then the town comes out and fills it. I love bureaucracy. Nope, we got to get the A-OK.
As long as everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. So I thought everything was okay with the World Cup coming to Foxborough. But no, the town of Foxborough still has not granted a license to have the games.
Why not?
Well, it's what everything comes down to. It's money. Foxborough is asking the World Cup hosting committee to provide public safety funding for potential matches. The last I heard, the governor, Maura Healey, said, "Don't worry about it. Security, we're going to cover it, and then try to get reimbursed by the feds." And but with the World Cup games at risk, the town is asking for nearly $8 million for security funding at Gillette Stadium. This is what I thought the Maura Healey said, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. Anyway, Foxborough Select Board Chair emphasized the town's March 17th deadline to settle the issue. City officials have threatened to withhold the entertainment license needed to host the World Cup matches. While the host committee is not the applicant or the licensee, they are responsible for funding of public safety.
Now, I would imagine that the attendance at the World Cup would not exceed the attendance that they have at a regular Patriots game.
It's going to be about 65,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it cost $8 million for each Patriots game to have security there?
Per game? No,
Yeah.
This would be $8 million for everything in the entirety, not just one game. And there's going to be
how many games?
a lot. eight or 10 are going to take place. This is a big deal.
Right.
And they expect the sellout for every single game.
Okay, over what kind of period of time?
Oh, somewhere in June, mid-June.
No, but I mean, is it a weekend? Is it 1 week or 2 weeks or
2 to 3, I think.
All right.
It's over a period of time.
Okay.
And they say, yeah, it's going to. But I thought Maura Healey picked them up and said, yeah, we'll cover the $8 million. So go ahead and give the.
I'm surprised the World
license,
Cup isn't contributing toward this, because the World Cup is earning significant sums of money from having the games there.
Well, they went to them and said, "Hey, we want money to do this." And FIFA's a bizarre organization. FIFA, they run soccer, and they're like, "No, it's up to you. It's up to you wanted to host these things. You provide the security." So they're throwing it right back in Foxborough and Massachusetts' face, really.
You're coming to our town. You're going to earn loads and loads of money from your event.
Yeah.
And you believe that we should cover these extraordinary costs.
Safety, yeah.
When we don't get any real benefit from what you're doing.
Well, they are going to get, the town's going to get tremendous benefit economically. I mean, the restaurants over there at Patriot Place, just going to be packed.
Constantly.
Yeah, don't go to the Olive Garden because it's just going to be madness. over there when this thing is going on. So they're gonna get their taxes, and so that's gonna be fine. And did you see the other thing about they're taking away thousands of parking spaces? 65,000 people are coming to the game, and they're taking away like 75% of the parking.
Why?
They say we need them. World Cup Soccer needs them because they need to put up tents for hospitality and other events to go on. So they're going to take parking spaces and to put up these event things. I'm like,
all of that whole
should have been figured out.
That nonsense should have been figured out when the bids, the contracts,
I know.
when all of that was done to get them here. I mean, I think the purpose, you have bragging rights like they're coming here and so on and so forth, but you still have to get the logistics in place, especially when you're talking $8 million. That should have all been done in the contracts at the time. At least pay half of it. Mm-hmm. You're taking all that parking for you to be making more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
a note called in on this. It just says, Governor Healy said, quote, "This will all be worked out. Relax."
That's what I thought,
when people were saying
too.
the games won't be coming. Okay, I thought she actually guaranteed it.
No.
She didn't say the state will pay. Oh, okay. Fountain of misinformation. Sorry.
Well,
I thought she said we're paying for it.
At this point, isn't the World Cup pretty much locked in? Because if they decide not to play in Boston, where would they play?
Well, they can't. They can't go anywhere else.
All right.
Nearby, New York is already doing it, and Philadelphia is already doing it, so I don't know where they would go.
But even if you knew of a town that had a huge arena, are you going to be able to get everything organized to move to that town?
Probably not now. It's probably too late.
Yeah.
All right.
And I hate that they're not going to call it Foxborough, and I hate that they're not going to call it Gillette Stadium. They're going to call it the Boston Stadium when they're nowhere near Boston.
But still, that should have been part of the contract.
I think it was. I think FIFA said this is what you'll do, and they said, "Oh, yeah, okay."
Yeah, well, see, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee AM program, so it's time for a second message from Bob Lauder's law office. Please, Bob.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'm sure you're aware that attorneys like to disguise theories and precedents with fancy and sometimes almost unpronounceable terms. One I'd like to talk with you about this morning is the Cypress principle. The name comes from the concept of as near as possible, and refers to construction of an instrument in equity where the intention of a party is carried out as near as may be possible when it would be impossible or illegal to give the intention of the party its literal effect. The concept derives from principles first administered by English Chancery in regular jurisdiction as part of the law of the state. And in Rhode Island, the judiciary is pursuant to statutes enacted by the General Assembly that has a similar full chancery power, and was first enumerated in the Rhode Island Supreme Court decision entitled Pell v. Mercer back in 1884. The recent case wherein the concept is discussed is that of Bank of America as trustee versus Nerona. In the Bank of America case, the bank had been named as trustee of several charitable trusts established between 1930 and 1969, wherein the Pawtucket Memorial Hospital had been identified as the beneficiary. Some of the trusts provided that the money to the hospital so it could be used to provide free beds to patients, while others supported the general operations of the hospital. Memorial Hospital ceased operations in 2018, and the issue then became, how could the intentions of the trust be fulfilled in the absence of this particular beneficiary? The trustees applied to the Superior Court for direction and proposed a split of the beneficiaries between the Miriam Hospital Foundation and Progreso Latino. Others argued for Kent County Hospital as a successor beneficiary. The Supreme Court reviewed the facilities and the services provided by the various contenders and concluded that the Miriam Hospital, as an acute care hospital, offered inpatient and emergency services most clearly analogous to Pawtucket Memorial Hospital, and therefore should be the beneficiary of the trust, provided, however, that the funds used were for the inpatient and emergency care, consistent with the intent of the original settlers of the trusts. If you think my office may be assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. And the Coffee and program will continue here on ON, AM, and FM.
ON 1240. Chafin Oil believes in service. Whether you need an automatic oil delivery, servicing, or a late-night emergency repair, Chafin Oil will be there. Chafin Oil installs gas and oil burners, too, water heaters, and central air conditioning systems. Stay comfortable year-round with the Chafin Oil team of professionals. Chafin Oil of Woonsocket, 765-3881. Keep that number handy, 765-3881.
Hi, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Thursday, March 5th, from 6 to 10 p.m., the Museum of Work and Culture presents Ciné Quebec, an evening celebrating Quebecois cinema. There's a wine and cheese reception at 6 p.m., followed by a screening of the film Le Bolduc, a biopic dramatization of the life of singer-songwriter Mary Rose Ann Travers Bolduc, known as the Queen of Canadian folk singers. Tickets are $25 for film admission and reception, $10 for the film only. 42 South Main Street in Woonsocket at the Museum of Work and Culture. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email us at events@woonsocketradio.com.
You hear it all on ON Radio.
All right, it's Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Okay, all right, the good news is, you want the good news?
Yes, please.
Newsweek magazine did their 2026 survey to find the best hospitals in the world.
Wow.
So they looked at over 2,500 hospitals worldwide. Number 5 is Massachusetts General Hospital.
I believe it.
Great.
Number
Wonderful.
5. How about that? I think I read this earlier. The Mayo Clinic is still number 1.
Rochester,
Out there.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, so Mass General comes in at number 5. Brigham and Women's Hospital is 18th. Beth Israel Deaconess is 112th. And coming in at number 250, Faulkner Hospital. Brigham and Women's Faulkner Hospital up in Boston is 250. Not bad at 2,500.
Right.
No, and
worldwide.
to be within 40 miles of such fantastic
Yep.
medical facilities, we're lucky.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, and I've been to the Faulkner Hospital. out of all of these, I've been to that one. Haven't had to go to the others, so, and they were very nice.
Good.
At the Faulkner, years and years and years ago. Okay,
And they didn't assassinate you.
how about that?
Or maybe
that
they
was-
didn't know that you were president of the potato company.
Whatever the company that was. No, I was at Rhode Island College when that thing happened. So no potatoes.
rats.
So I don't know what's going on with Robert F. Kennedy, but he's got this thing against Dunkin' Donuts.
What?
And Starbucks. You didn't
I'm
hear?
just shaking my head.
Yeah.
What's this one?
Well, at a rally last week in Texas, Kennedy said his agency was going to demand to see safety data that shows, quote, it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 150 grams of sugar in it, unquote.
Okay, this is the same guy who's talking about he doesn't think that we necessarily need to have polio vaccines any longer, and measles are okay. I am
Now-
glad he's focused on the really important things in the country and making these really stellar decisions.
Now, Kennedy went on to say he didn't think Dunkin's would be able to do it. Now, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey is hitting back at the demand over Dunkin', which is based in Massachusetts.
Mass, yeah.
We don't want them going anywhere. She posted a flag on X Wednesday similar to one used in the 1835 Texas Revolution declaring, come and take it.
Okay.
So the gauntlet's been thrown down. Come and
Now-
try and take Dunkin' away from us.
I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what Dunkin' does with preparations of coffee, but do they put 150
Yeah.
into each cup, or does this mean that a kid can just add it themselves?
Well, I can't add it. Go,
The
Sue.
whole thing is mind blowing to me because what restaurants were ordered to do is start listing ingredients and or calorie intake of certain items. Like if you go to even a McDonald's drive-through, you're
Yeah,
going to
it'll tell you
see
what
the
the calorie
calorie
and-
content.
yeah.
Okay, but where does it become Dunkin's problem when a mother is allowing her daughter, why just daughters, why not sons, to drink this drink. Now, yes, Italian sugar, yes, they're high in fat. Yeah, I mean, the thought of, I like sweets. The thought of all the calories in some of these drinks are like a hell no for me. I'm just not going to do it, and that's not just Dunkin', that's anywhere. That's anywhere, an awful from Friendlies.
Newport Creamery.
Newport Creamery, sorry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Why does it become, you have a right to take it or not take it, eat it or not eat it. But that would open the doors for so many other businesses that have food with high sugar.
Yeah. Well,
when you take his philosophy with regard to vaccines, that it's a parental decision as opposed to should be mandated, I'm surprised that he wants to mandate something that could be parental decisions here.
Yes.
It's the inconsistency of this
it's political
leader of the Department of Health that is really staggering.
Well, not the current mayor of New York City. It was a mayor before him, or maybe 2 mayors back, wanted to outlaw the Big Gulp from 7-Elevens
I remember that.
They weren't healthy for you. It's too much sugar, and you can't have it anymore. I don't think that ever went anywhere.
I don't think so either, but the reality
is... But it's back to, it's your choice.
Yes.
If you want to drink it, then
that's
drink
the reality. I mean, you make the consumers aware. I will say this. Seeing the calorie content in food items that you're thinking of getting makes you think twice.
Yeah.
For the average person.
And Dunkin' does that with all their drinks.
Absolutely, they do.
So you know what the calorie intake is.
How I
don't
know. Everybody's trying to control everything, and people are all like, don't let Big Brother in. The hell don't let Big Brother in. You open them up every time on your phone, for God's sake.
Now, my daughter works for Dunkin', and I'll have to ask her, but I think if you go up and you order a coffee regular, they're going to put 2 scoops of sugar in and 2 squirts of milk or cream or whatever it is. Now, you can always ask for more sugar if you want. Make it full or whatever.
Or you can put it in yourself
or
because
just
they have
give me
little
packets. And I'll put it in myself. So
I suppose you could also say, I don't want any sugar.
Or I don't want it. Want any.
Absolutely.
I don't know what they do with the iced coffee situation.
Well, again, you have the choice. You order how you want it.
Yep.
I just don't. I don't know.
All right.
Well, I think if you take an analogous with cigarettes, 40 years ago, cigarette smoking was pretty popular. The government said, okay, we're going to have to put the warning labels on the packages, and you can't have advertising on television. Mm-hmm. But they didn't say you could not smoke cigarettes.
Or you cannot sell cigarettes.
The consumption of cigarettes has dropped off significantly.
Going way down.
That's right. And it had nothing to do with the government saying you can't do it.
And I'm sure that the people like myself that see these high-calorie contents have looked and said, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to drink my meal." You know what I mean? And then some with some of the calorie content.
I have to confess, though, that when I go into a hamburger place and I look at the menu, it's the price I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the calorie content.
You know what? You're absolutely right. We've had that conversation before right here. It gets so expensive. Just mind-boggling.
Things I remember, we're going to go back to the 1970s, and McDonald's ran TV commercials, and this is the whole point. You could get a burger and a small order of fries and a small drink. The customer paid them $1 and they got change back. That was the whole point, is that they were inexpensive.
Not anymore.
I think the last time I was in I just got one a couple of days ago, a quarter pounder with cheese. I think it was over $6.
You know, but working on the road's hard, Joe. Let's face it.
Well, I had to bring the family too.
So. Oh well, when you work on the road,
I know you got to get something.
It gets hard. You got to eat. This and that. I end up getting the double McDouble meal bag.
Okay.
So you get nuggets, fries, burger, and a drink. So if I get anything at the fast food, that's what I get, and then I'll eat the nuggets, Ron will eat the burger.
All right,
it's so expensive.
There you go.
But you're also earning a little bit more than you were earning back in those days, too.
Well, Well, back then I was earning nothing. Back in the 70s, I would always tell my parents, "Hey, that $1 for one of those is pretty good, don't you think?"
Right.
Yeah, like, well,
But to go, I would rather go sit in a restaurant and
Yeah.
spend $10 for a burger with a server with a local restaurant
Yeah.
and pay it that way than $9 almost for a quarter pounder from a window.
Okay.
I would rather do that.
Well, if you're planning to visit New York City, by the way, free Shakespeare in the Park is returning to Central Park this coming summer. Romeo and Juliet performances will start in May at the newly renovated Delacorte Theater. There will also be showings of The Winter's Tale in the summer. Free tickets will be distributed in all 5 boroughs at noon every day when there is a public performance. You want to go see Shakespeare in the park?
Sounds like fun.
Pretty cool, huh? I've never seen it done outside like that, but they must like it there in New York City.
I remember more than 50 years ago when I was in high school, they used to have trips down to a Shakespeare festival in Avon, Connecticut.
Yeah.
School trips, and you'd go down and see various plays.
All right.
Yeah.
I would recommend going to see, if you get a chance, A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. It's actually very funny. So
Good.
there you go. Shakespeare has some very good comedies. Romeo and Juliet, there are no laughs in that at all. Not one.
No, he is a man of extreme cultures. He talks
Absolutely.
about sports. He can tell us about
And
Shakespeare. There is
Right.
nothing he doesn't know.
He's a well-rounded individual.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
All right. Got to run. That'll do it for the show for today. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to see you next week.
All right. And Sue, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the week.
All right. I'm Joe Callahan. Enjoy the rest of the day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. They're coming up live right after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner, Senate Democrat.